Yo, how's it going? Jamal is here again, and today we're going to talk about something that really needs to be talked about, and it's not talked about enough. Like the severity of this topic is, from what I can see, from whenever I observe what is going on in the world right now, it's needed. So you are the center of the universe. I am the center of the universe. And as Infinite Waters would say, the cat down the road is also the center of the universe. Now, hear me out. First, we're going to start with the etymology of the word universe. So we have uni and then verse. Uni, by definition, which I'm going to pull that up in a sec. So right here, a whole body of things that exist. That is the word uni. And like honestly, this is just a quick Google search and you can find this. So here we are, meaning of universe, the totality of the known or supposed things, what? Supposed objects and phenomena throughout space. Now this is talking about it in a macro, keyword here, macro perspective. But when you can look at things from a micro perspective, each individual being, a particular sphere of activity, interest, or experience. This one here refers to it on a macro experience. Now over here, verse. Now a line of writing in which words are arranged. Now this is in terms of music, but like for what the purposes of what I'm talking about now, it'll be more so aligned with this one. Verse is an abbreviated version of the universe in a container of space and time, surrounded by a barrier and guided by laws. Now the laws are the laws of the universe. Like that's a video for another time if I feel the need to do it myself from my perspective, or if there's a demand for me to do it, you just drop a comment about it in the comment section. So from a quick Google search, you can see that the words uni and verse have multiple definitions. I didn't go too deep in it in the video just now, because I just want to give you a little bit of it, and also want to encourage you to do it yourself. Because again, you are the center of the universe, and I am the center of the universe. In one of those definitions, it talked about how the universe is always expanding. Now, with the universe always expanding, that is because of us collectively. The collective consciousness is what is causing the universe to expand. Each time we imagine something, each time we create a new thought, each new thing, regardless of what the thought is, again, regardless of what the thought is causing the universe to expand. There are multiple proven theories that science has talked about parallel realities, parallel worlds, regardless of what the deceitful place is talking about NASA needs to see. So that's why I'm saying that. Regardless of what they say, there are things out here that admittedly aren't talked about enough. And you being the center of the universe is one of them. Because again, think of it this way. What if I told you that everything in your experience is because of your universe created it? So, style it back a little bit more to what I just said a moment ago. You are the center of the universe. So with being the center of the universe, everything is from the center, meaning the source. You are the source of everything you are experiencing. Let's sit with that for a moment. Just like I'm the source of everything I'm experiencing, and I'm on a day-to-day basis always meditating and questioning myself with some of the experiences that I've experienced. Is like, bro, how the heck did I manifest this experience? And I come to an answer eventually. Despite the fact that some of the experiences I've experienced, I'm like, bro, what the, why? Huh? How? What? Anyway. But that's me in my universe, me being the center of my universe, and also being the center of the universe. So with you being the center of your universe and the center of the universe, you got to be able to really sit with yourself and ask, what do you want? Now, if you do need some assistance with this, check some links down below, schedule some time with me, we can talk about it, because admittedly, if you don't have the proper guidance on how to navigate your universe, or even how to identify your universe, it's going to be challenging. And just as an adult growing up in this country, I realized that so many of us are lacking, not just adults, because I used to be a high school teacher as well. A lot of individuals are lacking the awareness of their verse in the universe and their universe, their own sphere of activity, interest, and experience. And it's jarring, which is why I'm bringing this topic up right now, because it needs to be talked about. So let's get back to it, back to that point. You being the center of the universe, you are your source. As your source, you have the conscious ability to introduce yourself to new and familiar things. Notice I didn't say old things. I said new and familiar. If it is new, it is something you never experienced it before. If it's familiar, it's something you are experiencing or have experienced. However, you are the source. You decide everything in your experience. So much so, in fact, that there are powers that be that want to control your verse so that you believe things that honestly do not benefit you. And you can see it around you. Again, like there's so much stuff going on in the world, and it's so unfortunate that so many people are unaware of the power that they have as the literal God of themselves. And it's so crazy because, again, being the source of yourself means you have so much power. You have so much power, and there's no other way of saying it. They don't want you to have that power. One of the beautiful things about this human experience is the ability to make a choice. If you can be persuaded to make a choice that you are told is good for you, then people will make that choice, regardless of what it is. Regardless of what it is. An example I can say is so freaking baffling, like once I realized this myself. This example is, if we can be told that Columbus discovered America, and then years later it become common knowledge. Oh no, wait. If it can be at one point common knowledge that Columbus discovered America, and then years later it's proven that he actually didn't discover America, and now it's new common knowledge that he actually didn't discover America, how can you trust anything you're told? Just think about that. Like, even in this video, let's have a moment of silence. I'm gonna stop the music. Just think about that. I'm gonna say the question again. If at one point it was common knowledge that Columbus discovered America, and then years later we are told that no, he actually did not discover America, and then now it's new common knowledge that he actually did not discover America, how can you trust anything you're just told? It's all. If that wasn't a long enough moment of silence, I do apologize, but I want to continue on with the video so it isn't too long. Information, knowledge, the ability to think for yourself. If once you gain that awareness of your universe, your verse, and to reiterate a little bit, to like talk about it, that sphere of activity, interest, or experience that I'm actually referring to is your aura, which is so funny because years ago, like 2012, 2013, I learned that each of us have an aura that is a diameter. It's also a sphere, but it's like a diameter of 6 feet. Every human has an aura sphere diameter of 6 feet. And it's roughly about 6 feet. May not be exactly 6 feet, but it's in that range of about 6 feet. Nonetheless, What was the quarantine distance? I'm just gonna drop that seed right there. What was the quarantine distance that we had to do? But yes, be gaining that awareness of your universe and realizing that some of these things in your verse, some of these thoughts you are having, some of these experiences you are having, some of these interests you have are not yours. The sooner you can clean up your verse, the sooner you can clean up your universe, the more authenticity you can bring within. By within, I mean literally within, because you are your source. Because I had to do that myself. Once I actually moved out on my own, it was in my own space. Granted, I did have roommates, but for like that first 2 weeks of me living where I was with my roommates, for the first 2 weeks, I was the only one there. I was the first one to move out and the first one to be there. It felt like my own place, which I appreciated for that time. But I appreciated it nonetheless, because being able to be in my own space, regardless of if I had roommates or not, share space or whatever, being in, at least it was a better environment. So be able to put myself in an environment where I can properly have those like inner dimensional leaps, to where it felt like in that year, that first year of COVID, for example, of quarantining, it felt like 3 years for me. Like, that's how much progress I felt I made in 1 year. I felt like I made 3 years of progress, because I realized that a lot of the stuff that I was told in my experience before that point of quarantine, I realized most of that stuff wasn't even mine. Most of that stuff wasn't for me. Most of those thoughts weren't even mine. Most of those opinions weren't even mine. Like, there was so much stuff that I was carrying around in my universe that was not actually serving me. And with me knowing what that feels like, I know what it looks like. And there are so many people only doing things because other people are doing them. And it is sad for all of us to be walking universes to collectively make a universe, and so many of us are still doing things that okay, let me take some steps back, because like if you take these steps and you find that, okay, cool, I actually like doing these things despite the fact that other people are doing, because even myself, there are some things I realize I still like doing despite the fact that other people are doing. However, I did realize that there were some of the things that I was doing, and it's like, I don't actually enjoy doing this, so I'm not going to do it. Disclaimer, it is the 4th of July as I reframe this. It's the 4th of July, which is so crazy. Another topic for another time. This is not our holiday. Why are we celebrating? But yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Prime example. Thank you, universe, for that. I actually don't care about the 4th of July. And I only realized during my time of like peeling back the layers of my universe, I realized that I actually don't care about this. Like, I don't care about any of these holidays. And I realized, oh, that's why I didn't get it. I realized I only cared about it because people around me did. And once I realized that, it's like, I don't care. I mean, granted, depending on the people, I'll participate, just to like, not even the people please. It's more so like, I want my I like enjoying things with my favorite people. I have some favorite people out here. They're my friends and my family. Like, if they're doing it, if I can enjoy it with them, that's cool. But if it's just me, like, just me, and I don't decide to go anywhere, I'm not participating. It's more of a social thing, and that's it. Just like with drinking and smoking, I don't drink really at all. I smoke weed recreationally, but I mainly only do it with friends because it's just social, you know. But yeah, take that time with yourself to really ask yourself those questions. Like, what are my values? what drives me, what motivates me, what do I believe in? Questions like that, you gotta ask yourself. Like I phrase them in that way because those, like, I ask myself those questions on a consistent basis. Like, you have to question yourself. It's healthy. It's more healthier than you think. Even if you like have those moments where you realize you're just having a full dialogue with yourself by yourself, that's okay. Because as multidimensional beings, as a whole walking universe, it's okay. Because an example, with some of those thoughts and some of those opinions, whose voice are you hearing? Just using myself as an example, there were times where I would have like a thought about something or an opinion about something in my head, and it was not my voice saying it. It was my mom's voice or a friend's voice, a family member's voice. Like, it was always a voice of someone I knew, which led me to conclude, like, oh, this is coming from them. Like, the amount of cleanup I had to do. And then there were times where, like, once I identified who the voices in my head were with those opinions and those thoughts, anytime an unfamiliar voice came up, I questioned that as well. Because the more you go down the spiritual journey, again, if you are interested in starting a spiritual journey, that's another reason to click one of those links below. I can begin that process of helping you, because there's no cookie cutter, one size fit all way on starting your spiritual journey. You can still be Christian and start your spiritual journey. You can still be whatever you choose. Because I honestly, on a side note, I realized that I actually fall into the category of a Sikh or a Sheik. What I was already practicing is apparently already been a thing, and apparently is also like one of the youngest religions ever. Am I still going to claim it? No. But apparently what I practice is already a thing. And yeah. But again, regardless of whatever you are doing in your universe, you have to question yourself. You have to like have a more spiritual take on things. Because if you're actually reading the books that you are told to follow and questions arise, that's good. As just the Bible says, something along the lines of, if you seek, you shall find. I did that, and I've been finding a lot of stuff. Like, the rabbit hole is endless. And within this endless rabbit hole, I've noticed there are so many different paths to go down. It's like, you will come into so many forks in the road. You will eventually come to a point where you're just going to carve your own path. Because, like, as you're going down your path, you're like, ooh, this is interesting. Ooh, this is interesting. Ooh, this is interesting. Like, wait, let me go back this way. Like, oh, that's interesting too. And it's like, wait, there's a lot of stuff I'm doing. Let me just make my own path and just go wherever I want to go. It's like it's like a universe traversing the universe, and it's like a universeception. I think that's the right phrase for it. But yeah, you are the center of the universe. And in order for you to like have that awareness and eventually self-mastery of yourself, you have to begin those steps. Questioning yourself. You got to ask yourself those questions, like those same questions I just said a moment ago. Like, what motivates me? What drives me? What am I interested in? Like, what do I like? What do I love? What do I hate? And that's just some more examples. Because like, once you begin to have clarity, it makes things so much simpler. It's like literally a snowball effect. As soon as you get those questions going, you're pushing that snowball. Next thing you know, you're reaching up, and then you're at the climax, which is like a quote unquote climax. and then it just falls down the hill to gain a bigger snowball, and then it's gonna like leap off a ramp, and it's just gonna keep getting bigger, despite the fact that it's no longer rolling in snow. It's just like that over and over and over, and you're gonna be surprised. You're gonna love the new you. And this message hits even harder for those who are like having trouble with that self-love, because these are the kinds of questions you will need in your beginning of gaining that self-love. I just want to encourage you to also be aware of like your universe. The things that make up you is what I'm really trying to get at. The things that make up you and the awareness of what these things are. And also the additional awareness of if any of these things are even yours to begin with. So again, my name is Jamal. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget the little notification bell. I also have a gaming channel. I'm going to link that down below as well. I've been playing Shadow of the Erdtree DLC on Elden Ring. And I also just stream in general. I've been doing it for a while. Now I'm just having this new channel where I can just do what I enjoy doing, which is help other people and guide other people. I feel like I'm a teacher by nature anyway. So, yeah. Thanks for watching.